Hey, what's going on? It's the Rockman, and I'm here in Montreal with Raine Maida. What's going on, man?
Hey.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
It's been forever, yeah, I know. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too. First band I ever toured with my band was Our Lady Peace in Quebec in the early 90s. And man, a lot of things have changed since then.
Those are fun days. I'd like to go back.
Yeah, I know. I remember you guys duct taping Jeremy to a bar once somewhere in Chicoutimi.
Oh my gosh, that's true, yeah.
A long time ago. But I've been listening to the new record. I really, really like it.
Cool.
Track 7 and 8, the last two tracks are absolutely amazing. I mean, the record's really good, but I really notice there's a theme in there. Almost like you're reflecting back on things, and a theme of fatherhood in there. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Big time, eh?
This whole record kind of started with a spoken word festival I did with a man named John Giorno, who's just a giant, among like the beat poetry world. He's one of the last left,
Yeah.
He's, his best friends with William Burroughs and hung out with Ginsberg and all those guys. So it was amazing to perform with him, and then we sat backstage afterwards, and I was just trying to milk him for as much information, because here's a man who's probably, I think he was in his late 70s then a few years ago, so he's in his 80s, he's seen it all, those guys kind of really lived, so there was a lot of wisdom there and a lot of stories, and at the end of the night he wrote a little inscription on my book. He said, "To rain, everyone gets lighter," and that's a poem from his book, and it just really was profound, it's like, here's a guy that's kind of seen it all, and I guess the ability to look back on your life, to have that, I guess, objectivity, and know that, at some point we're all going to kind of turn into dust and leave this planet. I just felt like, okay, this is a bit of a wake-up call, and it is. So it's really about me reflecting on the past and trying to, I don't know, just do better, I guess.
And it's crazy when you meet those guys that have stood next to the greats. I interviewed Peter Hook from Joy Division, and it's another guy. You're in a room with him, and you're like, you've seen so much. And
exactly.
You too wouldn't be around if it wasn't for you guys.
Right.
So it's yeah, no, I totally know what you mean by that.
Cool.
Now I just found out now that you're a huge UFC fan.
I haven't. I'm. Yeah, I guess it's probably like my last, besides scotch, it's like my last vice.
Okay.
So, I grew up doing martial arts,
Okay.
and so it's been amazing. I still am a huge Bruce Lee fan, but to see what he did with the three disciplines, and then to see the way the UFC has really matured. I mean, I liked it at its advent when it was Gracie starting it, but now it's, especially in the last few years, like the top guys, the top 5 or 10 guys, really, the skill level has grown so great that it's not just this brutal sport anymore. It's like a chess match, and obviously guys like GSP are at the front of that whole movement, and it's something I really enjoy. My kids all do Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so it's been, I just love the value of that discipline.
And it's true. I mean, you really have seen the sport go from going from like a back end, back room kind of hush hush thing to this, and I think people like George St. Pierre have really brought it to the forefront, who really cleaned it up in a way, and image wise, it's just.
George is what an amazing ambassador for the sport, and then you get, gosh, everyone, people at the top of the division, like from John Jones to Silva, they're just, they're really some of the best athletes in the world. I don't think people understand the kind of shape you need to be in to fight. Until you've done it, it's like, it's ridiculous.
Well, if anybody out there, just get into a bar fight for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, see how long it takes you to come down from that. Imagine fighting in front of 20,000 people for 5 minutes at a time. Now, for you, you guys started out in the early '90s. You were really pretty much there at the forefront of the grunge movement for Canadian bands, and you guys paved a lot of way. You guys are Tea Party, I'm Mother Earth, were pretty much the guys that opened the doors for a lot of people to get access into the U.S. Now, I know you've done a lot and you've seen a lot. What's been your biggest holy fuck moment for you as a musician?
I wish I would have appreciated it more when it was happening. But really, I remember we were playing in Boston. We were doing like our first headline tour of the U.S. and it was really going well. And all of a sudden, we're sound checking, and our tour manager, who's older than us, comes running in and says, Robert Plant was just in New York, and he heard Starseed on the radio in his limo, and he just called your agent right away. And it was the first time that Page and Plant got back together. and we're doing shows, and he said, we got to drive to Chicago tonight, and we're doing like 6 or 7 shows opening. And I was like, wow, cool.
Right.
I was looking more forward to the show that night at Boston. You know, I didn't like. Obviously, I was a Zeppelin fan, but it wasn't like I didn't grow up in that era, so I wasn't in. And now, you know,
kicking yourself.
Yeah, over the year, you know, we sat and had dinner with Robert and talked to him. And here's a guy telling me about he knew all the lyrics to my record, and
wow,
yeah, just I really wish I would have been able to kind of live in the moment more back then.
Appreciate it.
Just, you know, I was young and I didn't get it.
Yeah. It's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
So now looking forward, you know, you're a dad now. You've got 3 kids. When you have to come do stuff like this, is it hard for you to get away? Is it a balancing act? Is it, you know, because I know for me, when I have to go do stuff, being a dad, I kind of don't want to go sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance. I think at the end of the day, you know, you got to wake up and say, okay, look, what we do for a living is pretty amazing still. So, you know, there's sacrifices for sure.
Right.
But, you know, I've been away on doing press right now for 10 days. And, you know, when I'm home, I'll get 10 days straight with my kids where, you know, if I don't want to write or if I want to go in the studio, I don't have to. So, yeah, it's just got to talk yourself off a ledge every once in a while when it gets past 10 days, because that's really, you know, the longest that I try to not go with seeing my kids.
Yeah, and be honest, 10 days with 3 boys, it's kind of nice to get a break.
Yeah, right?
But no, I know for me, like it's one of these things. You know, whenever you put out a record, and because I've watched you, you know, go from Naveed to now, and I remember seeing you at those early shows. You know, I looked at you and I said, that guy's got some depth to him. He's not just one of these flash in the pans. And it's nice to listen to this. And hear that, you know, the orchestration that's in there, the horns, the lyrics, you know, it's great. It's really, really good stuff.
Thank you.
And it's nice to see you go from, you know, because Starcy was, and Naveed and Starcy, that whole era was just amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I think, you know, as an artist, I think that's all you can hope. When you want to be judged on a body of work, you hope that body has some, I don't know, some different angles to look at. You know, if it all kind of sounds the same, then I guess essentially you start to realize there wasn't a lot of growth, and that can bring on a lot of regret, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time, and hopefully it's not another 18 years in between.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
The spirit of rock. CHOM 97.7.